All right, let's talk about it. The one thing that can make or break you as a parent of a young child, sleep. And as you probably know, what works for a tiny baby is definitely not going to work for a 3-year-old. So we're going to break it all down for you, age by age, with real, practical strategies you can actually start using tonight. And look, right off the bat, I want to say this. This is a total judgment-free zone. Getting a little human to sleep is hard work. If you're exhausted and feeling like you're failing, I promise you, you're not alone. This is all about understanding what's normal for their age and finding the tools that feel right for your family. So here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with the beautiful chaos of that first year and how to build a routine. Then we'll navigate the toddler years with all their big feelings and boundaries. After that, it's the preschool years where imagination runs wild. And we'll wrap up by revealing the one single superpower that works for every single age. Okay, let's start at the very beginning, the first year. This is a time of just massive, massive change. We're going from pure biological chaos to the first little glimmers of a predictable pattern. So newborn sleep, it's a whole different animal, isn't it? They sleep a ton, yeah, but it's in these tiny 2-hour chunks that can drive you crazy. The most important thing to get is that this isn't your fault. It's just biology. Their little tummies are tiny, and their internal clock, that circadian rhythm, it just doesn't exist yet. They literally do not know the difference between noon and midnight. So here is the absolute bottom line. Your only job in these first few months is to survive. Seriously, feed the baby, sleep when you can, and just forget about any kind of strict schedule. Survival is the name of the game, and that is perfectly okay. Now, while rigid schedules are out the window, you can start gently pointing them in the right direction. Number 1, always, is safe sleep. That's non-negotiable. But number 2 is the big one. Start teaching them the difference between day and night. During the day, open the blinds, make noise, be alive. And at night, keep it dark, quiet, and honestly, kind of boring. And then, right around 4 months, everything changes. People call this a sleep regression, but that's not really what it is. It's actually a permanent progression. Your baby's sleep cycles are maturing and becoming more like ours. That means they have these little, brief wake-ups between each cycle. And if they haven't learned how to drift back off on their own, guess what? They're going to be calling for you every single time. And this, right here, brings us to our first major tool in the toolbox. The science on this couldn't be clearer, folks. A routine is like magic. That predictable sequence of events tells your baby's brain, hey, sleep is coming, and it makes the entire process so much smoother. So what does that look like? It's simple. A 20-minute routine, the same steps, in the same order, every single night. And this is the perfect time to start practicing putting your baby down drowsy but still awake. It's how they learn that all-important skill of falling asleep on their own without needing to be rocked or fed all the way into dreamland. Okay, deep breath. We've made it to toddlerhood. All of a sudden, that sweet little baby has opinions. Very, very strong opinions about, well, everything, but especially bedtime. The whole game shifts now from biology to psychology. Here's the thing you have to remember. Testing boundaries is literally a toddler's job. When they're asking for one more drink, one more story, one more hug, they're doing exactly what they are supposed to be doing developmentally. They aren't being bad, they're just figuring out how the world works. So, what's the secret sauce for this stage? It all boils down to this simple phrase: hold firm boundaries with warmth. You can totally acknowledge their feelings. I know you want to keep playing, honey, while still holding that limit. But it's time for bed now. You get to be the kind, confident leader they need. So here are your go-to tools. First, give them a little bit of control with small choices. Do you want the blue pajamas or the red ones? The choice isn't if they go to bed, it's just a tiny detail about how. And for those endless curtain calls when they keep popping out of their room, the key is to be as boring as a rock. A calm, silent walk right back to bed. Every single time. And now, let's step into the preschool years. Their little brains are just exploding with creativity and imagination, which is so amazing, but it can also cook up some brand new challenges when the lights go out. You see, a preschooler's imagination is so vivid that nightmares can feel incredibly real to them. And their stalling tactics, they get a serious upgrade. They're not just asking for water anymore. They're trying to draw you into a full-blown negotiation. Plus, this is usually when the nap disappears for good, which can make for a very tired and emotional kid by evening. So how in the world do you handle these tiny lawyers and their negotiations? Well, there's this amazing research-backed tool called the Bedtime Pass. It's brilliant. You just give your child one single pass that they can trade in for one request after you've said goodnight. It gives them this great feeling of control, but it's within a very clear limit that you've set. So the strategy here is all about empowerment within boundaries. If that daily nap has become a battle, just switch it to quiet time. Let them rest without fighting over sleep. When they're scared, meet them with empathy. Wow, that sounds really scary, but also with confidence. I promise you, you are safe. And then use that bedtime pass to put an end to the endless curtain calls. Phew, we have covered so much ground, right? From newborn biology all the way to preschooler psychology. But you know what? There is one single unifying principle that is the secret to success at every single one of these stages. This is it. This is your superpower. Consistency. Whether you're trying to teach day from night, build a bedtime routine, or hold a boundary about staying in bed, doing it the same way, every single time, is what teaches your child what to expect. It creates a feeling of safety and predictability, and that is the absolute bedrock of healthy sleep.
So let's just do a super quick recap. For your newborn, your goal is just to follow their cues and survive. For your infant, it's all about building that solid routine. With your toddler, you become that warm, loving boundary holder. And for your preschooler, your job is to instill confidence that they are safe and that they can do this.
Look, this doesn't have to be some massive, stressful overhaul. So I want to leave you with this question. Thinking about your child and where they are right now, what is one small, consistent change you can start making tonight? Because those small changes, when you do them consistently, are what lead to really big improvements in sleep for everyone. You've got this.